I'm just getting everything ready and set up. Oops, sorry. Okay, hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Okay, this there, perfect. Okay. So let's see how that mic sounds. Whoa, why is my gimbal acting up again today? I'm going to set you guys right here for just a second. I'm going to restart my gimbal. It is being a nuisance today. So let's get you guys back into the gimbal. Balance it off a little bit more this way. Okay, cool. So let's hope everyone is having a lovely day. It is Friday the 13th. A few days a week I do know when it is. This is one of these. Friday the 13th, one of my favorite days of the year. Did you know you can have up to 3 of them a year? It's a pretty interesting facts. Any month that starts with a Sunday is going to have a Friday the 13th. Why are we so wobbly? How is that? It's better. So let's take a peek at the sky and get all first. So thank you, Mark. We will talk more about my hat in just a few minutes. But beautiful blue skies. You guys can see leaves are starting to change, starting to get some nice vivid colors. Over on this side, you can really see the nice vivid color changes. And very, very exciting. So Mark was talking about my lovely hat. Here is the lovely hat in the description below if you want one of these. I have them in 2 different colors. If you're interested and you want to support what I do and you like a cool piece of X Dr. Firefly merchandise, it's in the description on DLive below. It's called the OG hat. So anyways, let's go getting everyone fed. Talking a little bit about what fun things we're going to do today. So you guys can see ducks waiting for me. Guineas running up. I think I mentioned before about the dangers of standing underneath this pear tree. Just want to show you guys. There's what we're talking about. Just clumps and clumps of pears all above my head. And some of these pears are ginormous. So we're going to start with the outside guys first today. It is a perfect fall day. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but I believe it is just nice. We're going to stick with just nice. I'll look at the temperature later. I have not actually looked at the temperature yet today. So, oh no, the guineas have knocked over the feed, which is exactly what I was hoping didn't happen, but that's okay. We'll get it handled. So I'm going to put you guys right here. That is Sassy and Benny. They 2 of our farm dogs here on the farm. So let's actually, I think it'll be more entertaining if I put you guys right here and then zoom down like this. So we're going to go through here. Actually, I'm going to put you guys on the ground. We're going to go through here and we're going to get everybody fed. We're going to get everybody watered. We're focusing right now on the outside guys, and then we will move more to the inside guys next. So if you guys are staying up to date with hey, Rev Jim. If you guys are paying attention to all of the silliness that's happening in the world today, this is another great example of why I think it's best that we, hi Fernando, yeah. Why it's a lot of times you can be completely stressed and that kind of stuff, and why it's good to have your daily chores to do and you don't just worry so much, because there's a lot of control. There's a lot of stuff not in our control. But you know what is in our control? Feeding ducks, feeding chickens, being outside, taking care of your animals, watching the ducks as they just knock down my street, knock down my things. Okay, let's just go with that. So, Rev Jim, I have not got a chance to catch any of your shows since you've been back on here. I've been busy, but I look forward to that. By the way, guys, if you guys Rev Jim, he's a fun streamer here. If you are on one of the other sites, check out Rev Jim, especially here on D Live, one of my favorite places to be. Okay, here we go. That's a little bit better as we run through this line and get everybody fed as I get surrounded by chickens and ducks and all the other fun things. Also, guys, I've started a new podcast series. So if you look for Flat Top Fables under your favorite podcast streamer, mostly my podcast is just about, we're going to talk about just different things about living in Appalachia, things about farming, you know, some folklore, maybe some storytelling, all of that kind of good stuff. So oh, you quit drinking. That's awesome. That's great. I am happy that if you no longer want to do drunk streams, I am happy that is something that you are no longer doing. Soon though, Rev Jim, soon we're going to get you, in the next year or so, we're going to get you bees, because I think that you might actually really enjoy raising bees. They're very fun, and it's a very enjoyable hands-on hobby. So thank you, Mark, for the link to my podcast. I'm hoping the ducks are right here trying to knock everything over. Yeah, I tried to follow you when you were on, I believe it was Pilled, when you were streaming on Pilled, and I kept having, my personal computer kept having issues with that particular platform. I was having a tough time watching people, and I was a tough time streaming there. So as cool as the platform seemed to be, I just kept having tons of errors with it. So ducks are just trying to knock over the ducks are standing right in front of you doing everything that they can to try to knock over my camera right now. It's very intriguing. I'm just waiting for the moment that they bump into it again. So I'm going to try the goal. Yeah, I still stream on Odyssey. I like Odyssey. Rev Jim, I'm going to tell you, Rumble is a really, really nice site to stream on. So if you get a chance to stream on Rumble, I do suggest. The only downfall to Rumble is you have to set up your stream key every time. But the nice thing about Rumble is you are monetized from day one. So that's cool. Also, there's just there's a nice group of people there, not a lot of trolls, some people that are pretty interesting. So it's one of my favorites as well. But yes, D Live is still my home. It's still my favorite place to stream. It's where I get the most. It's where I just have the most interaction with people and enjoy it the most. And so glad that you're back. So I will be my goal. We'll see how long my goal is. My goal is to try to stream, if not 7 days a week, at least 5 days a week now. to try to get back to do regular streaming here. So, and we're going to be, I'm going to be doing these streams, the Let's Feed the Chicken streams, and then we'll be doing my midnight streams. We'll be doing my midnight streams, which is Midnight in Doc's Garden, where those streams are kind of a mix between, we're going to talk a little bit about different permaculture things. Right now, we're watching a video on different types of wonderful techniques on things that you can do, like growing your own insulation and stuff that you can do without the man getting to you. And then maybe we'll just do a little bit of, philosophy, cleansing the mind, some woo, fun things of that. Because sometimes you don't just want to talk about farming. Sometimes you want to have a big variety of fun things to have conversations about. So let's get over here. We're going to get these bunnies fed. Fortunately, the way they're set up right now, it's really hard to get angles. But things are about to change because fall is here. And with autumn being here, it means that I have to get everything ready for winter. Because winters can be harsh. And it'll be here in no time at all. So I'm guessing probably in a week or two, I will be getting my first frost. So that'll definitely puts a snag in lots of activity. But as of right now, you guys see, beautiful, beautiful sunny day here on the farm. So let's see, because the ducks knocked over that food. I'm gonna have to go grab some more food. But let's get everybody, that's chicken food. Let's put you guys over here. Actually, let's go grab some food. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go to the barn. We're gonna go grab some food for these guys, just so I can get all of the outside guys done. So when all those outside guys, well, not all of them, but most of those outside guys are gonna have to go in the barn in a couple weeks. So that's gonna be another really fun chore. I hope you can hear the sarcasm in. That's the one thing that's not fun. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. 4 more days and you can get VP. Spectacular. You know what? While we're in here, let's just get everybody fed. And then we will we'll get everybody fed while I'm in here, and then we'll finish going out the outside guys. That way I don't have to keep walking back and forth, because sometimes it can be rather annoying to be tripped back and forth and back and forth. So yeah, Jim, I saw that you had one of those little nifty little logos around, like the little crowns and such around your name last time I saw you. So I think that looks like, to my understanding, how means that you've been a pretty popular streamer here. So that is awesome. I haven't streamed as much lately because, one, my mind wasn't into it, and two, I just so many chores, so many projects to work on, and I just wasn't also happy with the way the internet was working when I was streaming, and I'm not happy when sometimes it cuts out and cuts in and cuts out and all that stuff. So I was just I was extremely frustrated with everything. So when I got frustrated enough, I decided to just take a break for a while. But I think that break is over. The rest period is over. Plus, with autumn coming and fall, it means that there's less big projects for me to work on and more time for me to focus on other aspects of life, and that being one of them. I have other nice thing I like about this time of year is this time of year when I have to start planning on all of the activities and classes that I'm going to teach next year, so I can start figuring out what programs and such to do. So that's something. Yeah, apple cider vinegar. I also you might also want to add a drop of peppermint oil to that as well. If you have any local herbs, like especially things like echinacea or other local things like that, it would be good to add that for the seasonal cold. Something else. So ducks and chickens and such, you can add that. I really, really, really like adding apple cider vinegar, not apple cider vinegar. I have apple cider vinegar. I really like adding dandelion, especially dandelion leaves for rabbits and for chickens. And I've noticed that that seems to do very good. It's actually good for us as well. But one of the things, they like the greens, they like the texture, and you can usually always get them to eat that. And so that is something I've noticed to add to my fall season. The other perk of having peppermint is peppermint does a good job of keeping a lot of other things in bay. So it keeps some of the mites away. It'll keep some of the rats, the mice, and now I will say, bunnies don't like it as much as chickens do. If you add drops of peppermint, they're just not a big fan of it. But your chickens and such, very good to add into the mix. It is fall, and that's something we also need to keep track of. As it being fall, what that also means is some of your chickens will be this will be the last season that they really do anything for you. So it's something to prepare your mind for, because most everyone that I talk to, and me raising chickens for is the 20 some years that I've raised chickens, is I lose more chickens in early fall than any time else in the year, with maybe the exception of chicks that maybe have just not developed properly. So that's just something I usually tell people to prepare their mind for and prepare yourself for, is that fall is the time of rest. And so a lot of guys will be going into their next journey rest. So, oh, that's cool that they figured that out. I think it's so cool when you realize that nature is sometimes a lot smarter than we are, and the animals already figure things out. Okay, those guys need to be fed. And then I've got everybody fed in here, and then I'll take the next thing over to them. You guys can tell today I absolutely made the mistake and didn't tie up my hair. It's something I totally need to do. Yeah, most of my guys have already gone through their molt cycle. So that's a good thing with the way the weather has been, and with fall, and because at this time of year, snow and cold weather can come at any given point. So while we've not had a hard frost yet, I do believe that we have had it drop below 0 or drop below 32 once already. So, but I haven't seen any big crazy weather swings yet. At least it eased down when it did drop to that colder temperature, and then it's eased back up. It's those big temperature swings that seem to really get everything. So the good thing is my bees can also, there's still also plenty of room for plenty of pollen and such for my bees. So before I'm ready to winterize them, I'll also be putting in some of those winter patties. That'll be something that we talk a little bit about. And my hair is just being silly today. So downfall to dreads when you're a farmer is they absolutely can get in the way a lot of the time. So I got the feed. Let's head back out and get those guys out there that need to be fed. So So we still got these still these lovely, lovely flowers blooming. They were so awesome this year when they were in full bloom. There looked like white bushes all over the place, and it was really, really cool and intriguing and such. So let's I'm gonna put you guys up there and spin you guys around so you guys can see what I'm doing, and we'll get everybody out here bed and all that fun stuff. Let's see, that's pretty good. Sorry, Guinea. Stepping on guineas because they're always running under your feet. So I got a lot of silkies this year. I think next year, me and Lisa's talked about it. Next year, we're going to definitely cut down our chicken population. So we're going to be selling some of our silkies. We want to start focusing on with the silkies. There is some specific color variations that we really want to start focusing on and get down to breeding some particular qualities in, and it's a lot easier when we have a little bit less. We have right now, chicken wise, I think we have close to 100 and some chickens in all the different families. So if you some of you might be wondering why there's so many different cages and why they're not all free ranging together. And part of it is because I have quite a few roosters, because I think roosters are good. Where is the hook for that? Roosters are good to keep your population healthy, and I don't dislike roosters as much as a lot of other people do. I think once you learn how to get along with the personality of a rooster and you can befriend them, there's a lot of good benefits to having roosters on your farm. So especially outside, the one big benefit is if you've got some of the really aggressive roosters, especially if you can get them so that they view you as a friend and not some competition, a lot of those roosters will do a wonderful job of protecting the rest of the flock to the point where they will sacrifice themselves. So I also like the idea of having two roosters run around outside. So you have a alpha rooster and you have the second in charge. I don't really call them beta because they're not any weaker. They just have a different role. And their role is usually one rooster's role is to go after the predator. The other rooster's role is to make sure that all of the hens and the younger guys are all safe and sound, and the predators are not anywhere near them. And so those are things that people also overlook. So yeah, when it comes to my roosters, I try to manhandle them a lot. I try to make sure that they understand who I am. And I also found that it's really aggressive hens. If you have the really super aggressive hens, they seem to be the ones that raise the really aggressive males, the really aggressive roosters. It's just a trend I've noticed. So I have a couple girls that are just mean. They fight with other girls. And so I usually don't let them ever raise roosters. So yeah, rabbits, I like rabbits. I would absolutely suggest, if you do not have bees yet, I would suggest adding bees to that mix. Bees are absolutely spectacular for a farm. Even if you don't get the honey from them, the other additional benefits that the bees give to pollination, and they're just a nice balance. So now, FYI, like to get started with bees, to get the equipment and to get your bees, if you buy everything new, it'll be in the vicinity of 500. But there is, if you're interested, you can join the Discord, and discord.gg/extractofirefly. And we've got some plans on there, or they'll be uploading some plans on there soon, on using logs and hollowing out logs and making your own beehives that way. So at least you'll cut down on the cost of that particular part. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this water and take this water back and such. So I think bees are just really nice and calming to have on the farm. There's just something special about the sound and seeing the girls out there doing all the hard work. And just, there's also a smell that you get on your farm when you have bees. You walk past a beehive and it's the smell of, like, I think it kind of smells like mead, but it kind of smells like honey and such. Yeah, bottle bees. There is the concept of bottle bees. I've looked into that. I've also seen people that are really trying to do it on a budget. They get the styrofoam coolers, and they make so that they can put the frames in the styrofoam coolers and cut, and with an X-Acto knife or enough, you cut out the bottom and you keep the bees in the styrofoam coolers and such like that. That is another way. There are lots of ways to be able to have bees. But I do suggest having bees is something that if you can, you should look into it. The other thing is, depending on what state you're in, this is something a lot of people maybe not be aware of, but depends on what state you're in. Some states actually will reimburse you for the purchase of your bees, because they're wanting more and more people to raise bees, because the more people that raise bees, when some places we're worried about, we have bee shortages, and other people are just wanting good quality bees. And so the more honeybees that they have out there, the more chances of them mating, and the more chances of different genes getting out there. And so some of your bees might turn into wild bees. Some of them might mate with some other local types of bees. And so you're getting a good variety of genes out there. And so there's like Virginia, the state next to me, for that happens to pay people for having bees, and they will let you go through classes and reimburse you for some of the product and such. So that is something to consider. And also, if you're worried about with insurance purposes, most of the time, in almost every state, you can't be sued for someone coming and getting stung by your bees, because, well, we can't control bees, and most people should clearly understand that bees sting. So it's something. So that is something else. So bees are just all around cool. Also, the other thing I'll mention, because this is a good time of year to think about this, but having some apple trees. If you live in an area where you can have apple trees, you should start planting as many apple trees as you possibly can. So if you can't afford to plant apple trees, start collecting the apple seeds from the apples that you get, and start planting those. If you need help with that, I'm going to start doing some more videos this fall on seed germination and growing more of your own food from seed. While it takes a really long time, but the thing is if you've got children, or you've got nieces and nephews, or if you just want to make things a little bit better in the world, planting as many trees as you possibly can, it's just it's a good thing. Especially planting fruit trees, because not only do they provide fruit for you and your family and your loved ones, they also provide plenty of fruit for people out, for the animals and such out in the wild. Here, you guys probably want to see the baby chickens. They are on the Mavis Farmacy cam. If you guys aren't following the Mavis Farmacy, it's Mavis Farmacy with an F here on but here is there's the chicks right there. running around the camera. You guys can see the camera right there in the background. But yeah, there's the chicks running around. Some silky chicks. The cool ones is the ones that are the kind of the brownish color. We call those cafefe coloring. So, because they have almost kind of a coffee coloring. You know, you might not need to cut down those other trees. You might actually just need to trim up around those other trees, because sometimes trees like to go up and they like to grow up into canopies, and the mycelia underneath and the root system underneath, all the trees are actually working together. I mean, there's a couple handful of trees that they don't work together, but sometimes cutting down trees can actually be harmful for trees, because they have a whole like neighborhood going on. But if you can trim up the trees to maybe allow your fruit trees to get more light, would definitely be something to absolutely consider doing. So. Rev Jim, I know you posted something about seeds and germination, and I absolutely just ignored it and missed what you posted. So I am sorry that that slipped right past me. Also, if you live in an area where you can't have big fruit trees, you can always get dwarfs. You can always get dwarf trees and at least keep them trimmed like a lollipop in most cases. And you can have some lovely, lovely fruit trees. And while you can't really bonsai fruit trees, you can keep them smaller. And that can make it so that even if you're in a very tight area, you can pretty much grow fruit trees. I would say that if you've got more than a postage stamp map.yard, you should be able to grow. You should be able to have some type of fruit trees. And as I suggest, probably an apple. So. Okay, so when it comes to keeping your seeds in a freezer or freezing the seeds, some seeds, that is a very good thing to do. It's just the idea is you want to make sure that if they're freezing, all the moisture is gone, because you don't want the seeds to pop. You don't want the seeds to get damaged or crack open. What I normally do with my seeds is I put them in a mason jar, and then I just stick them in the back part of the fridge, or I put them in like the crisper area where you keep your fruits and such like that. And I most of the time keep my seeds in the refrigerator instead of the freezer, just because there are some seeds that are sensitive to that kind of stuff. Seeds that you know that aren't sensitive is if you've got plants that regularly come back every year where you live, and those are seeds that would naturally live in the ground there. Those seeds can survive, but pumpkin seeds, for one example, don't really enjoy being frozen. So like with pumpkin seeds and squash and watermelon and such like that, I find it being a lot better to keep those seeds, keeping those seeds in the refrigerator instead of the freezer. Now, if what Jim's talking about is stratification, so for example, pawpaws. So I collect, in about a week or so, I'll be going in the woods and be collecting some pawpaws. Pawpaws actually need a cold season to be able to stratify. So with the pawpaw seeds, I will collect the pawpaws, I'll eat the pawpaws, I'll collect the seeds, I'll put them in dirt, and then I will actually stick those in the freezer until probably about March. And then I'll pull those out of the freezer. I'll keep them in their bag of dirt, and I'll pull those out of the freezer, and then that'll help trigger them to germinate, because there are some plants that do require that frost to germinate. Apples, pears, your common stuff aren't usually one of them. So, but there is, so with the question that Jim asked is very important. There are some that you do need to do stratification. Trees seem to be definitely one of the things that is more popular when it comes to wanting to have that cold, having that good cold snap. Okay, I'm gonna walk over there. I'm gonna get some food for Sylvia, and then we're gonna go out and say hi to Sylvia. All right, let's spin this camera around so we can go see Ms. Sylvia. By the way, guys, if you want to see, here is the current beehive with their friends. So what I did is, because this hive here was not doing very well, and so I gave them a few extra bees. Of course, not the queen or anything of that sort. I gave them a few extra bees. And let's peek in through the top and see how they're doing. So they're doing okay. There's definitely more bees in there than there was. So don't know. The reason I added those extra bees is in hopes that some of the bees that were coming from here might land in there and do some drift and maybe keep that queen, because she was a decent queen in this hive. She was a decent queen. She just was laying very slow compared to this queen. Now that was the queen I bought, and this was the queen that was born here. And as you guys can see, you can also tell by the height difference, these guys grew. These bees really worked out and did their thing, while these bees kind of were slacking. And these bees actually live someplace else. I brought them over here since this seemed to be a very good spot for bees. So we will see. In about a couple weeks, we will be preparing that for winter. So here is Miss Sylvia. Oh, you were. I see you're playing in the weeds, Miss Sylvia. Okay, let's give you some food. Okay. Let's head on back. The next thing we're going to do after we fed Miss Sylvia, we're going to go for a little stroll down the back way. Oh, I guys wanted to show you. So even here, even late in the season, the bee balm is still doing, the bee balm, still beautiful late summer flower. I love having some here. So okay, let's travel on. So we're gonna go down the back path past my boneyard for future winter projects. Oh, Mark, if you are still here, we were talking about different types of plastic for running different types of water. I went and grouped together all of my thinner plastic pipe to be able to use this for some of our cool different ideas. Oh, some more black walnuts have fallen. I'm going to collect these black walnuts because I'm trying to collect all of the black walnuts this year. So black walnuts. So what's super cool about these black walnuts is these are black walnuts that I planted the seed to every one of these trees. And so this is a yield that I've got to see a complete life cycle. I planted the original seed that came from my house in northeastern Ohio. And from the seed I planted, I now have black walnuts. This is the second year that it's done that. And I will actually be planting some of these with the idea that in the next 15, 20 years, I will have a yield again and then try to do that again and see how many times in my lifetime I can, how many generations of trees I can have in my lifetime, because that's just pretty cool. So this is the gate to the back path. Peek up and look this way so you guys can see just how, again, almost a perfect fall day. Lovely, beautiful fall day here in the mountains. Oh, for those that remember in the spring with the great fire that if you guys want to see, oh wait, that is looks like could have been a golden hawk. I didn't quite catch it as well. So yeah, no chemtrails at all today. Look at that. Look at that chemtrail-free day. Bit windy, but no chemtrails. So beautiful, beautiful. So I was telling you guys, if you guys remember me talking about so see this area right here? This is the area that I burnt in the spring. Completely burnt all of this down to the ground, and then actually tilled it up twice. And as you can see how well things do here in Appalachia, it doesn't take long. The goldenrod, which is great for bees, goldenrod is right there in full bloom. And then even my these guys came up, and I will show you. The downfall is that I should have probably spent more time. You know, I should have weeded this, as you know, it might look like. But as you have seen how fast everything grows up here, those that remember me walking through here. So here is this is one of my loofahs. So the whole reason this was not a desirable place to put loofahs. I just needed to have some stuff up here, so I was trying them out. So that loofah is mostly being grown for its seeds. I do want to show you one thing that's really interesting. So this is the part over, so you guys can see the cemetery right there. And this is the part over near the cemetery, and you see it also just came back with a vengeance. But this is what I expected the soil to look more like. So if you guys can see, there's a little bit of spot where the soil is not growing a whole lot. This is kind of what I expected to happen after I burnt everything, but it just didn't turn out that way. So you are absolutely welcome. I plan on sending more seeds again in the spring. I've been collecting lots of seeds, so I will make sure you are on the list to get your seeds in the spring as well. So I wanted to point out these kind of things that are really interesting. So these are right here. So this is actually, it's called nature's toilet paper. It's kind of related to lamb's ear. This is a mullein. You can also make good medicine with this and such like that. But this is, after I burnt the fire here, there is tons and tons of that. So I'm very excited I'm actually doing a lot of research on different types of medicine and different types of tinctures and such I can make with that next year, because this, if you look, there's one there and there and there and there and there and there and there. It is just abundance in here, which is very exciting. Also, because I know that this is just not going to be a good spot for growing most type of gardens, I came up here and I planted some fruit trees. So we have a fruit tree there. We have a fruit tree there, and there, and there. And so there are 4 fruit trees. And each of these fruit trees, that fruit tree gives you fruit in as early as June. And this fruit tree gives you fruit. This fruit tree will give you fruit as late as November. So June, July, and we progress on. So just trying something new up here. So here's another great example. See if you guys look, all of it right through there. Oh, I didn't know about stunning the fish. That is very interesting. Yeah, I do know it's good for the lungs. And so we'll be excited about making some medicine. So did good yields. This is that is going to be white raspberries next year. So very, very prevalent in the white raspberry. So nettles is amazing. So nettles, I love stinging nettles. Not only is it a very nutritious plant, it is also one of the strongest fibers in the entire world. So if you take nettles and you rip out the internal fibers and then you intertwine the fibers together, it is, if I'm not mistaken, it is the strongest natural material that you can get. It is stronger than hemp. It's just a lot of work to do, but it is a lovely, lovely plant, something that I do not try to eradicate. I actually rarely try to eradicate anything. So for those that've never seen it, this is the cemetery that is up in the middle of my property. Some people that were long planted. I think the last person that was planted up here, I believe the last person that was planted up here was in the let's see, we've got 46, 53, 50, 30 something, 81. So I think 19, that one right there was 1981. So sounds good, buddy. I will look forward to your call in the near future. So this is the cemetery that was here. And I also wanted to point out, since we've got our property changed and deeded out, this area right here next to the cemetery, this area up until right here, this will actually be our family cemetery. So, because that's the one thing that I think would be cool, that's helped over the past year, that I've thought a lot about, is being able to be buried on your own land. There's just something special about that. Also, with the way technology is going, there's things that I could, attach to just add more data for people that might want to know stuff. Maybe have like a time capsule, or maybe a stone book with knowledge in it, or just links to videos like this. How interesting would it be as if in the future, 100 and some years from now, someone sees that tombstone and then is able to go through the ancient archives of the internet and come across an old video of the person that would be me, but of the person that lived on the land and their little tour. How cool would it be to have, a little video tour? So I don't know, maybe Rev Jim, maybe I will. I mean, with the technology today, you could actually probably set something like that up. You could have a device. You could have a device powered that could just, set into the infinite future, upload a new video every year of something that you already had pre-recorded. Actually, okay, so think how cool this would be. Let's say that you set up a camera and you paid someone to maintain that camera. and the camera set up on the same spot all the time, and you had money set up so that camera would always be powered and always be set up at the same time. And then you digitally altered your voice and you set up a script, and then every year, like on your birthday or something, you had a new video come out well after you were gone, talking about things have changed. And so other people that maybe got used to following you or used to following the area you were living in got to see how things were changing well after you were gone. It's just a weird thing to think about, but something that is totally possible today. This is a nice view. So we got the church right there, we've got my building, and we've got the beautiful fluffy clouds and the slight changes in the season. So let's head on back to the house. So anyways, friends, I want to thank you for joining. By the way, again, if you are interested in this hat or hats like it, you can, down in the description below is a link to the hats. 100% of the purchase goes to helping me in the farm. So I designed and made the hats and found the company, crafted the hats myself. I will be mailing them to you, so you're not going through one of those third parties. So I know the quality of the hat before I ordered it and such like that. So something that you, if you're interested in helping that way, if you just want to hang out with us, discord.gg/xDrFirefly. And Mark earlier posted a link to my podcast and things of that sort. And hopefully next year, if you guys are passing through southern West Virginia, you guys can come and attend one of my workshops. So I'm going to be doing some free workshops. I'm going to be doing some more complicated, like specialty workshops. I'm going to be doing lots of awesome variety of things to do. So next year, so there's lots of cool things to. Thank you, Rev Jim, for the lemons, and thank you, Mark, for posting the link to the hats. And friends, I might do another, again, this is the day show, Let's Feed the Chickens. In the evening, we do Midnight in the Garden with Doc. So there's those things to look forward to. Hopefully if you guys want to come and join us and ask questions and learn more. And I will be doing, hopefully next year, along with the outreach programs here, we'll be doing some webinars and some things. So for some folks that can't actually make it out here but still want to learn that kind of stuff, those will be available for you as well. So anyways, friends, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. And until tomorrow, it's Doc. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you guys. The goal is to do this again tomorrow. I'm going to try to get back in the regular streaming again. So look forward to seeing you guys. And till then, it's Doc. Adios.